Bacon is amazing, but it's even better when it's homemade. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to cure your own bacon. I'm going to show you how to smoke your own bacon. Depending on what you have to smoke with, pellet smoker, that's absolutely delicious, or an offset. The pork belly that I have today is from Duroc Heritage Pork. This pork is superior in flavor, superior in intramuscular fat, superior in tenderness. Not required when you're making your own homemade bacon, but you can definitely tell the difference. Being that this is a cured process, we need to talk about the cure, which starts with salt. We have sugar, we have Prague powder number 1, which is pink curing salt. In order to start the curing process, we need to weigh out the pork belly itself. So get yourself a digital scale that reads in grams, tear it, and add your pork to the scale. Now we need to record this weight, 1,205 grams. We need to calculate a couple of percentages based off of that in order to figure out what we need for the cure. Starting with the salt, we're going to go with 3% salt, which equates to 36 grams of salt. And by the way, I'm using fine sea salt. Once you get that, then add that salt to a mason jar. Next, we're going to do the sugar, which is 1.5% of the weight of the pork. In this example, it's going to be 18 grams. Add the sugar to the mason jar with the salt. Now we need to weigh out the curing salt, which equals 3 grams. Add that to the mason jar as well. I'm going to add a couple other ingredients that don't need to be weighed out. I have a half of a teaspoon of anise seeds and 1 sprig of fresh rosemary that I'm going to give a rough chop to, just to extract the oils in it. With all those ingredients into the jar, give the jar a shake to incorporate. The next step is very important. We now need to take this cure that we made and use all of it on the pork belly. You need to make sure that you cover all surface areas of the pork belly thoroughly with the curing salt. That's going to be the top, that's going to be the sides, that's going to be the bottom. Once you use up all the curing salt, gently pat it in. Next step is that we need to wrap up the pork belly nice and tight. You could use plastic wrap with a little bit of foil. You could use a zip top bag that is large enough if you have one. Main thing here is that you need to keep all the air off of it. Once it's wrapped up nice and tight, place it into a container. So this is going to cure for 7 days. It needs to be wrapped nice and tight. All the air needs to be kept off of it. After day 3.5, you want to flip it over and then continue on until day number 7, and then we'll go to the next step. Now that we're on day 7, you need to remove it from the plastic wrap, rinse it very thoroughly under cold running water, pat it completely dry, and get it ready to smoke. So now this is ready to be put on the smoker. I need to monitor the temperature and pull it when it's at 150 degrees. I have a small acid smoker that you have to have a good charcoal bed going, and that's where I use the lump charcoal. And I'm using apple wood and oak for the smoky flavor, okay? So bacon's one of those things I really like to have a nice thick smoke on it. So as soon as that charcoal bed is nice and established and I have the pork belly on there, I throw on a nice handful of these chips, and it's going to give a nice white thick smoke on there, which in this case it's really nice. It burns clean really fast because of how small these chips are, and I'm not worried about getting dirty smoke flavor on there. It's good. Once I get the charcoal bed nice and established, I'm adding a couple big handfuls of the applewood chips. Applewood is a pretty mellow wood to smoke with, and you're not going to get any kind of dirty smoke, especially when you do thick smoke right off the bat in the very beginning. Control the temperature, 200 degrees, no higher than 225. To control a consistent temperature in the smoker, I'm adding handfuls of charcoal every 45 minutes. And to keep the good smoky flavor coming, I'm alternating oak and applewood. Taking care of your firebox is also a very important step when you're smoking. It's a lot like taking care of your cast iron pan. You take care of it, it's going to last a lot longer. Overall, this will take about an hour and a half to get it up to 150 degrees, holding it 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so got a little ways to go. Smoke times definitely will vary depending on the weight of the pork belly. Of course, if it's a bigger pork belly, it's going to take longer. Smells amazing, dude. Has a beautiful smoke color on it. So now from here we just let this rest for about an hour, and then we can slice into it. I'm going to do some nice thick pieces of bacon. Other parts of it, I'm going to cut them down into like little bacon bits, render it down, make a sauce with that, right? So many good uses for this. First and foremost, we're gonna make some crispy bacon with it. This is the best bacon I've ever had in my life. I love cooking thick cut bacon because you could get a crispy exterior and the interior will be very, very tender. There's got to be an infinite amount of ways you could use this bacon. Right here, I'm chopping it up, rendering it down, and then adding some blanched asparagus to it. It's going to add a nice smoky finish to the asparagus, nice saltiness, nice fattiness to it. It is amazing. And of course, you got to put together a beautiful smash burger with some of your home-cured, home-smoked bacon. This is the best burger I've ever had. And one awesome thing about this bacon is when you render it down, it releases a good amount of fat to it, which you definitely want to save.